how well they can effectively play against NiP. NiP's draft just looks really solid, right? The Razor up against the Monkey King is big. You have that last pick, Naga, who can cause chaos if it finds space, and if they don't apply pressure on Ace, he's certainly just going to run away and farm fast again.
Well, Tava telling us he's feeling it now. Fair enough. Hopefully we're in for a bit of a closer game. Chaos, of course, this is a best of 3, so they are looking to push this to the 3rd game if they can. NiP definitely wanting to just take this 2-0 early on in the group stage. Would be a very nice start for them indeed. Looks like Weeha will make his way into the mid lane and we'll get a quick Observer Ward down. NiP, however, are smoking up and perhaps looking for a very early pick. King RD is the closest target to them, though they are actually kind of running the right way to Weeha, but instead, no, they will find King RD. Sark's smoke does break, but King RD did not actually spot that out, and they'll get started. Can they find the Earth Spike? Yes, they can, and 33, he doesn't actually have the follow-up stun quite yet. Just holds on to that level 1.
30 seconds to
Looks like they'll just be satisfied with the damage they dealt, as well as the fact that they're securing both those boundary runes at the moment.
I'd say that's actually a bit costly for King RD. Just being forced back to base again, probably having to expend his TP early on, just means that his options in that lane, if he does have to move out, are going to be a bit limited here.
Looks like Ace is going to try and make a play for that top boundary rune. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to swipe it off Tavo, and he thinks better of it. There are a few too many heroes around, so it'll be a 2-for-2 start for both teams. Of course, last game it was a 3-for-1 the way of NiP, so at the very least Chaos Esports do start on even grounds. HFN is currently in the mid lane blocking up that creep wave, and looks like he might actually take over up against Fada on that Razor. Weeha is actually going to be in the safe lane. Tavo, of course, will be in the off lane as that Brewmaster with Misery. So there you have it. Apparently the counter towards the Razor was the Nature's Prophet, though it does look like Fada is going to immediately go down to the bot lane and swap, and Ace will join the mid lane instead.
Yeah, just a lot of movement right now early on from NiP, and that is kind of to be expected. You do want this Razor to lane up against that Monkey King to just make him much less effective in that laning phase, and just having Fata walk down instead of TPing does save them a bit of a... gives them options still to rotate out later on.
Of course, King RD will be there to support Weeha on that Batrider. So it's certainly not going to be as easy as it was in the mid lane in game number 1, though Fada will get started with the static link. It was only an 8 damage leech though, so not a big deal for Weeha. Misery just being very annoying towards PPD on that Winter Wyvern. PPD threatened himself. Of course, there is going to be a bit of a little engagement here over the neutral creeps, though Misery looking to set up. He does throw out an Impale. Looks like Tava will just go ahead and take those creeps for himself. And PPD just forced to run away for the moment.
Yeah, we're seeing a much slower laning phase from both sides once again. Just kind of finding their bearings and really trying to give their cores as much farm as they could possibly. So just trading a few blows from the supports, but no heavy commitments yet, which is fair enough. I feel like with the drafts they have, it's certainly not going to be as explosive, at least early on. Maybe by around 5-minute mark, possibly further, we'll start to see a bit more action, but King RD's in a spot of trouble already.
Yeah, he is, though Weeha will be there to protect, and it looks like Sarksa will give up on that. Of course, he was underneath the Firefly damage as well, so certainly not smart to stand in the fire too long. So Sarksa will start moving forward, trying to find King RD on that Batrider. Does spot him out, but would rather just return to the lane and ensure Weeha can't farm up at all on this Monkey King. As it stands, though, the Monkey King is doing rather well in the lane, considering he is up against the Razor. Currently with 13 last hits, 3 denies, and I guess that Boundless Strike is going to help a lot in ensuring he finds those creep hits.
Yeah, it's a better story than the last game for Weeha so far. Having a bit of a better time here, despite the, unfavorable matchup on paper. He is still finding what he wants in this lane, applying a fair bit of pressure onto this safe lane, and he should hit decent timings if he can keep up this pace.
Well, he does get a junior mastery, though. Top lane, Misery, finding himself in trouble and finding himself trapped. 33 will find the first blood. here for the side of NiP. Now Tavo. Just be careful, Double Edge will come out. Now the Splinter Blast as well. Hoof Stomp is available from 33, and that might be enough. Although no, Impale actually stops the animation of the second Double Edge. And that will ensure that Tavo will be able to walk out and salve up. Though certainly a very, very scary lane to have to deal with now.
Yeah, it certainly is. Just lacking that bit of regen once again kind of means that you do have to play a bit safer, but again, a clean kill for NiP, and that does break up the monotony of this early game so far, but I don't think, it's going to happen too much. It looks like 323 will opt to go for the suicide on neutrals, so he can go back, get his regen up, and TP back into the lane, which is fair enough. It just is a bit of a longer respawn timer, of course, with the changes to dying to neutrals early on. It does give a bit of time to Tavo to catch up here.
Certainly so. It's like mid lane Ace is having a fantastic time. Currently at 23 last hits, 7 denies. HFN is falling slightly behind. He's got 16 to 8 right now in terms of his own last hits. Meanwhile, Sarks are getting chased down bot lane, though King RD has to be careful about this. Earth Spike is there, and he dives to tier 1 and ends up losing his life. Meanwhile, at the top lane, 33 is going to get a nice double hoof stomp off, though there are 3 heroes and a double impale coming out from Misery. They really want that Centaur, and they will find him. Meanwhile, PPD, he can't really get out either, and HFN will pick himself up a double kill on that Nature's Prophet. And that's a pretty nice early rotation from HFN as well.
That's definitely what you want to see from Chaos, and that's what I was expecting from the last game. Just a lot more aggression early on. Just your two supports rotating together and finding these kills. If they can keep up this sort of pressure on NiP, there's a very big chance Chaos can get a nice network lead going for themselves. Nice amount of space, and maybe even a bit more map control compared to the last game, which definitely helps the cause.
Well, it looks like they will swap out lanes here for Chaos. Tavo does make his way into the mid lane up against Ace, though Ace is now just essentially creep skipping behind the tier 1 tower, making it that much harder for Tavo to actually get these last hits going. And again, it's almost like a similar storyline to last game, although it is a lot more even. It does feel like Ace is just getting a bit too much here in his lane, not being contested whatsoever. And to be fair, it's not an easy hero to gank up either.
Yeah, the Naga is definitely not too easy of a target. At the same time, it's a hero with no mobility spells. It's a hero that you don't generally go for control skills until much later on. So if there is a time to rotate on Naga, it's definitely while she's at her earlier levels, for sure. And it doesn't look like Chaos is prioritizing that.
Well, Tavo could be in trouble. PPD does make his way in, though Ace actually cops a lot of damage from Tavo and will back off. Sarksa was there just in case as well, and another Splinter Blast just for the trouble. And Ace, of course, finds himself a regeneration rune of all things. So he'll just return back into the lane with 4 HP, 4 mana, and will act like pretty much nothing ever happened.
Yeah, really fortunate for him to find that rune, managing to basically mean that he doesn't lose out on anything at all in that trade. In fact, it did hurt Tavo just a bit more, as he has no regen after popping a lot of that counter initiation from NiP.
Top lane now being completely evacuated. HFN going to return to the top lane very soon. 33, of course, going to be a very menacing target to have to go up against. Meanwhile, Ace looks like he will rotate now into the jungle. There's not really much farm left for him in that mid lane. Weeha farming up pretty decently, sitting at 2.7k net worth, so definitely a lot better than last game. Fada has not really been able to shut him down as much on the Monkey King, and of course we do know with these Monkey Kings as well, their impact on the game does tend to be quite high throughout the mid game. Just after the 10-minute mark, he does tend to be a real nuisance every time you want to go for some sort of engagement.
Definitely so, and it looks like Weeha is poised to be a nuisance in this game. As you mentioned, not really losing too much from this lane, in fact, having a better time than Fata has, and that should possibly pay off for Chaos. Again, the tendency for this team is to really ride in the back of Weeha, just riding the momentum he gives by that mid game, and he is pretty much set, at least from the laning phase, to have a decent enough start that he can do things by that mid game.
Misery gonna spot out 33. 33 just trying to get some neutrals down here. Misery, of course, gonna stick around, try to steal some creeps and perhaps get some XP for himself. Bot lane, looks like there may be an engagement coming up soon. 3 heroes showing up from NiP and only 2 sitting there for Chaos right now. Weeha, of course, is going to be the main priority as a target, but he's being rather evasive on this Monkey King. And it looks like they won't find anything quite yet, but you can definitely see the priorities here for NiP right now. Like mid lane, they will make a jump. PPD does rotate himself in. Still is okay, just flying around the tree line, juking them out. PPD, surely he gets taken out here. Tavo, he'll slow him down. Cold Embrace, though, will come out. Misery is there as well, and they actually commit the split, just in case. Meanwhile, Saksa was there with the Earth Spike, but it will not protect the Winter Wyvern. Saksa will just TP himself out. 33 also cannot really help the cause either, and will just farm up in the mid lane as much as he can. Though there will be a nice little Cyclone coming out. There will be no follow-up to it, though.
That's a pretty heavy commitment to drop just for Winter Wyvern for the most part, but you know, you do secure the kill. Doesn't seem likely that we're going to see a big team fight break out anytime soon, so I suppose if there was any time to use these big spells, that would have been it. And good usage from Chaos does kind of just reel in that network gap, just back down to fairly even, less than 1k lead for Chaos. And nothing really yet being lost. They do manage to get a significant amount of chip damage onto the mid-tier 1. So that should be easy to take out the next time they get a push going.
Well, Misery does spot out Ace and does set up the HFN. Stampede was there, and Ace, of course, did have a Quelling Blade available, so the Sprout won't really affect him. Meanwhile, bot lane, however, they found Weeha on that Monkey King. Boundless Strike will come out, but it will not do enough. To make matters worse as well, Saksa will go ahead and take the banner in for his team. That is a very, very big pick here for NiP. That's pretty much one they really were trying to get for a while now, and they finally do end up getting it.
Yeah, that's a very, very key target to take out, and it does help the cause just a bit. I mean, right now, still again, fairly even, less than 1k lead for NiP. They're going to have to do it a few more times to really keep Weeha down, but the Monkey King is starting to reach that point where he can just farm the jungle fairly soon, and apply a lot of pressure in the lane just by himself, so you will have to watch out. I feel like NiP, again, has to choose their targets right now. It does feel like they are scattered just a bit more. They're going to have to commit on who to slow down at this point.
Well, they will get a tier 1 tower, so first tower of the game will go the way of Chaos Esports. Again, finding objectives across the map, ensuring the map control isn't taken here by the Dire. And doing a good job of it so far. Ace, just trying to see what he's farming up. He's currently got 1.5k gold just sitting in the bank account, and hasn't really queued up anything, though he will queue up the Yarshin now, so it looks like he may just go straight into the Manta style. Meanwhile, though, mid lane, King RD, looks like he will get caught out. Plasma Field did connect, but there was no real follow-up there. Saksa had used the Earth Spike already, so couldn't really have the follow-up stun available. And it looks like Chaos are actually going to roam their way through the mid lane. Perhaps they found a target. In fact, Saksa has been caught out, though the TP play will be enough. They had nothing to cancel. That is unfortunate.
That is one issue with Chaos's draft. When Misery's not around, when Misery and Weeha aren't around, you don't really have a way of stunning anyone. And even if Weeha's there, if he's extended that Boundless Strike, you're just kind of stuck with no disables for 22 seconds.
Well, Chaos setting up for the mid lane push now. That tier 1 is already fairly low, though PPD will be there to defend. They will bring in HFN as well. And it looks like this tier 1 will also be going down. So again, great plays from Chaos here, ensuring they get the map control early on. Ace will go ahead and trade and get a tier 1 top tower himself. It looks like they will end up finding PPD in the end, though, and a nice impel there from Misery. He does go down, and with the double damage still available on HFN, why the hell not just go after the tier 2 tower as well while you're at it?
Yeah, again, it does look like Chaos has a better grip in this game. They are finding the objectives they want, which will make it harder for NiP to find farm, especially with a hero like Naga Siren, who just wants to clear out these camps really fast. It is going to be hard when you're probably going to lose your tier 2 as well down mid.
Well, they are trying to take the bot tier 1 tower. And Well, they've lost the tier 2. Now Weeha looking to set up, though. Nice Quelling Blade there from 33 to ensure the stun comes off on the Monkey King. He actually ended up finding the exact tree he needed, though Impal will still be there to set up. He is still in a bit of trouble, but Stampede will come out. Sarksa runs to the right side of the map. Now Winter's Curse is there on the Nyx Assassin. He's copying a lot of damage right now, though he will survive it. PPD as well will burn down to the Firefly thanks to King RD. And in the end, Misery will end up surviving and getting back to the fountain.
Yeah, again, really clean rotations coming out from Chaos this time, just managing to find these small kills, which, you know, on Winter Wyvern, not going to be a big issue for PPD. At the same time, this does open up the map for them to really push out, and they've taken out all the all the tier 1s of NiP now, which does shrink the map control significantly.
Well, Ace may make a play here onto HFN, though doesn't really want to mess around with the tree line. In fact, he might get ganked up here because there's a lot of heroes coming in from Chaos, and this is the pickup they really needed here on the Radiant side. Lasso being committed as well to ensure the song can't come off. That's a big one. HFN going to be very, very happy about that.
Yeah, it's the kill that Chaos definitely needed. They needed to slow down Ace just by a bit, and they find a big kill that they couldn't really secure in the last game.
Well, to make matters even better, 33 ends up going down to Weeha, and well, the tips do come out immediately from Chaos Esports. That's 2 major pickoffs here that NiP end up losing, and Chaos, they really are in the driver's seat right now. Like, in terms of net worth, they're only 2k ahead, but in terms of map control and pretty much the momentum of the game, it's just all their way.
Yeah, it definitely is. And again, they're just not relenting. They're constantly shoving out these waves, constantly just trying to get what they can from this map. Although it looks like Tavo will be caught out here.
He does get the bounty rune for himself. There will be Misery there to help, and it looks like they won't find him quite yet, although Winter's Curse will come out before the split animation finishes. They found the Spram to 33, but he does have a Quelling, and they will throw out the Stampede. Just wanting to get out of there safely, though Weeha, nice initiation from him. They will Earthspike in 33, trying to turn this one around. Mischief will dodge a bit of damage, and now the Wukongs come out. 33 is copying way too much and does end up going down. They also ended up finding PPD, it looks like. He's trapped in the tree line. It looks like they are going to try and help out with Fada on that raise and just delay things as long as they can, but it's all Chaos Esports, although hold on a minute. The song does come out. There is a nice lineup of 3 here, but unfortunately, Sarksa was not in position to get the Earthspike off. They will find Weeha though, and that is a nice pickup to get. They'll find another as well in King RD. Tavo being chased down, doesn't have much mana left to speak of. The Ensnare is also available on Ace, but he doesn't want to throw it out quite yet. Just waiting for the right moment, and now he will. Plasma Field will be there to follow, and somehow NiP come out on top.
It did feel like Chaos committed.
They found Misery. Misery was underneath the Sentry Ward, not really realizing it. Nice double impale, though, will allow him to walk away, and it looks like that will not end up being a kill. But back to that engagement. Chaos Esports perhaps just diving a bit too far.
Yeah, they definitely committed a bit too much for that. Just a fairly deep chase, and, you know, even if that tier 1 is down, there is that shrine, and they definitely crossed that line. And the response from NiP was fairly straightforward. Having Ace use that song, of course, when they were in a really tight choke point. Really unfortunate. They knew where Weeha was as well, so just chopping that tree after the song meant that he was an easy pick. And it does come out that way for NiP. Again, not too bad yet for Chaos. They still have significant advantage in map control. They have pretty good deep wards planted in contrast to Game 1. And they are applying still a considerable amount of pressure around the map. So it's still looking good for Chaos, but cannot afford to give NiP a way back into this game.
Well, they have their eyes set on Ace up at the top lane, though Ace, realizing something's wrong, will back off to safety. Of course, no blink available on King RD, so he can't really just blink in and get the lasso off. Did see a scan come out on that Roshan pit. NiP looks to set up for that bot tier 1 tower that's still standing. Meanwhile, though, Misery keeping eyes on Ace once again, but he doesn't really have any follow-up to go with. And it looks like they will just hang around that dire jungle for the moment and just farm up a bit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Now the tier 1 being taken down here by 33. That'll mean the Roshan, of course, will be open here from Chaos. NiP definitely doesn't want to give this away, especially considering the heroes they have for the Roshan pit, but they've already used the scan. They will scout it out with these Naga illusions, though can they make it in time? Those illusions giving vision on the HP of the Roshan. Still no real TPs coming out from NiP. They are just slowly making their way in. Now the lasso being thrown out. They found Ace. Again, just trying to make sure the song doesn't come out to stop the Roche attempt. And they will successfully take it as well. Saksa, he threw out an Earth Spike, but he is going to get caught out here, though no Ace. Finds the song. TP will be there. Weeha does end up finding PPD, and that was really it. The song was just there to make sure they could get the hell out.
Yeah, rather unfortunate for NiP, but a nice objective grab for Chaos, and they do that does mean they can take these fights even more. Like, they can risk a bit more, they can have HFN stand a bit far forward, and he does a lot of damage to these towers. Just not being able to take out this NP fast enough is going to be a bit of an issue for NiP as they continue to lose map control on the map. Just all around. Losing that tier 2 up top, possibly going to lose that tier 2 down bot fairly soon as well if the pressure is kept up.
Ooh, 33. Mid lane jumps in, a double hoof stomp to counter the gank onto Saksa. Though Saksa may end up falling regardless, though Fighter now comes in with the plasma. A lot of damage being dealt. He's also leeching a lot from Weeha, so he can't really help in this engagement. Now the Winter's Curse as well. They could reinitiate if they really want, though Saksa is rather low on the line. It looks like he's willing to give his life away for that Earth Spike. In fact, it won't even cost him his life. They will get the Aegis. Now Weeha chasing 33. Run of Atos will be there from Fada. Nice impale, and it looks like Fada has overextended to try and save his teammate. He will end up losing his life. At the very least, though, that will stop Chaos from pushing up the high ground.
Yeah, that's a pretty topsy-turvy set of events. At the very least, NiP does manage to take out that Aegis. At the same time, you know, losing Fatal like that's not the ideal. He still needs a few items to really come online. Once that BKB is up, he can't afford to be that far. He can't afford to be that far forward. But without, you know, just overextending like that, it will cost you if you're not ready for it. And it does cost NiP just a bit there. But it looks like Weeha will get a nice clean kill on Saksa.
He does indeed. He does feel better indeed as well. Looks like there will be an immediate smoke coming out from Chaos, perhaps trying to find them by surprise. Ace not going to be expecting this one. King RD. Can he find the lasso? The impale misses as well. Stampede will save the day, and now they want to turn this one around. King RD is just a support Batrider, so not the biggest deal in the world, but every kill you give away here to NiP is just going to mean the game drags out a bit longer. And that's going to allow a lot more time for Ace and Fada to get that farm up that they desperately need.
It definitely is on NiP's side to delay this game a bit more, right? We have heroes that are
33. He's going to get caught out bot lane. He tries to get the hoof stomp off, but the split was there from Tava to ensure he had the follow-up stuns. And now they will go after that bot tier 2 tower, and that's pretty much claimed. There's just no way to stop this here for the side of the Dire.
Yeah, and it's definitely on Chaos' side to apply this early pressure on. They want to stop the scaling of NiP. I mean, you have some pretty good scaling from that Naga Siren, for sure, as it goes late. And, you know, it certainly looks like that Chaos has found what they wanted from the laning phase into this mid-game now. They've cleared out the outer towers. They've dropped some beautiful deep wards to watch that jungle. And now they can just kind of sit back, maybe wait for the next Roshan before committing to that high ground push.
Well, BKB coming up on Weeha. He's just got it on the courier right now. That's, again, just going to help them further develop these engagements. Ace. Diffusal Manta is up. Looking to get a BKB of his own right now as well, just so he can actually get involved in these team fights without risking his life too much. Does actually push in that top lane, but HFN will be there to defend just by himself. Again, it's just another one of those strengths with the Nature's Prophet, the ability to just TP around the map and just push out lanes whenever he feels like. Now Misery going to get caught out underneath the Sentry Ward. Ensnare will be there, but there's a lot of heroes from Chaos Esports coming in. They want Ace pretty darn bad. The song will come out immediately, but the BKBs were there from Chaos. They'll find PPD, so no Winter's Curse. Though can they cancel off Ace's TP? They cannot. The Boundless Strike was committed for PPD. I'm not sure how worthwhile you'd consider that. Like, it's still a nice kill to get, but you committed 2 10-second BKB charges for that. And you only get a support Winter Wyvern.
It's definitely not ideal. definitely not ideal. Just those BKBs are pivotal in terms of giving Chaos control in these team fights. Losing out in that 10-second one is a pretty major blow, and that just means that, you know, it's going to tick down relatively soon. You only have so many moments where you can pop those long duration BKBs. Wasting it on the support Winter Wyvern, definitely not the best situation for it. At the same time, you do manage to at least slow down the momentum of NiP. You kind of stop Ace from just free farming around, and you know, that is pretty much what you want to do. You want to stop Ace from farming, you want to apply this pressure on the map, you want to get onto that high ground fairly soon, I feel. You're going to have a bit of a hard time again if you give openings.
Bot lane, looks like they have found HFN though. Nice lasso will be there from King RD, and now the split from Tavo as well. It looks like NiP will lose 2 more, and Chaos, I mean, it just looks like a completely different team compared to game number 1. Just the rotations and the playstyle is just working out fairly well for them. And I mean, suddenly NiP, again, backs to the wall. They just can't find, they can't even find a Nature's Prophet pickoff.
It's pretty hard for them right now to really get around it. Chaos definitely is responding quite a fair bit better. Their smoke rotations are better, their vision is better, their response is better. Just, you know, jumping in when someone needs help, committing as a team to find these kills, it's working out much better compared to game 1. Right, 16-8 now, 24 minutes in, 5k net worth lead for Chaos. I mean, NiP is certainly not out of it yet, but Chaos is certainly in the driver's seat in this game.
Well, they're going to find Fada on that Razor, and with HFN TPing in, it should be a fairly easy kill, though BKB does come out, and now 33. He'll jump in with the hoof slump. It's a lot of damage coming out, but they've already gotten Fada down. Now 33, pretty much a sitting duck, but they want Ace first. He's making the chase onto HFN. Ace going to be able to walk away thanks to that Winter's Curse coming out. And this Centaur still wants the Prophet and will find him. And meanwhile, Sarkset finds Misery as well. Though now 33 just being surrounded and will not go down quite yet. Ace, he had the song still available. Can they actually outrun them? The tree jump was not great from Weeha. Just a bit early, and 33 scouts it out and does break the tree down. Still though, a 2-for-1 trade for Chaos. They do lose the Prophet though. Certainly not what they wanted. They do come out on top in the end.
Yeah, worthwhile trade. Again, slowing down Fata at this point is pretty significant. He hasn't really had the best time in this Razor compared to the last game. Going 3-3 to 2, not the most active around the map. He's certainly had to play catch-up for a fair bit. And that's down to that lane matchup. Surprisingly enough, Chaos did make that lane matchup work. I feel like that's down to the supports being a bit more active in that early game, applying a lot more pressure, and honestly, even with a hero like Razor, he is pretty lane dominant, but if you throw enough people at him early on, he doesn't actually do too much in that lane. Like, besides sapping damage from your core, if you can play around that, the hero just doesn't have much of a lane presence, and Chaos certainly has done that in that early game to great effect.
Weeha just going to push in that top lane now. Fana will be there to respond. Of course, the net worth lead does remain 6k the way of Chaos. Though it does look like Ace going to make a bit of a bot push. The tier 2 tower, of course, still standing. In fact, every single tier 2 standing for Chaos right now. Perhaps Ace can force a defense to come out with this Manta and the illusions. Chaos Esports, though, just grouping around the dire jungle, just making sure that's cut off for the rest of NiP. Perhaps even going for a mid push right now. The only person really there is Fada. It's just got to be careful not to get caught out. Mind you, there is still no blink available on King RD on that Batrider, so he doesn't exactly have the initiation tool. He does really have to rely on the Impale or perhaps even Tava on that Brewmaster to set him up for that lasso.
I don't think that's been a major issue just yet for Chaos. They have played around the limitations of their draft and rolls quite well. They do lose out in their tier 2 down bot, but they have set themselves up on this top jungle, and it does seem like they are really just waiting for the next Roche before committing to that high ground, which is a fair move to make. They have a constant vision in that pit, and once that Roche is up, I believe Chaos will go for it and possibly go for the high ground if they manage to secure it.
Radiance being completed on Tava. HFN got the full Assault Cuirass up now on himself. Of course, two 10-second BKBs now available on Ace and 33 on the Centaur. So a lot of new core items coming up from both teams. Certainly going to change things in this team fight, I'm sure. That Roshan still about 1 minute and 10 seconds away before we see the man pop up again. You can see Chaos. They are just set, rooted in the ground, making sure they do not move. They are ensuring that this Roche pit will be secured by them first. The smoke is there from NiP now. If they can get the right setup, the team fight could go their way pretty easily, though Fada does kind of reveal himself in the smoke. Misery now. Gonna get stunned. He does try to get a 4-stuff in time, but doesn't quite get it. Now the run of Atos as well. The 33 is getting control, but Finger of Death does come out and Misery is gone. He will buy back immediately. Now the Batrider lassoing away Ace. Ace is still relatively healthy, though Weeha will get the Wukong's command off and is going to make the chase onto 33. Meanwhile, on the backlines, PPD just keeping them busy with that cold embrace, trying to survive as long as he can. 33 looks like he will end up going down to Weeha. 2 down so far for the side of NiP. It just doesn't feel like they have the control in these engagements. In fact, they're going to find more, it looks like, on the side of Chaos. Though no, they do get King RD. Saksa, Impel is there, but he still ends up falling. And now the song comes out. Can he get out of this one? Weeha going to make the chase, though doesn't quite find the Primal Spring. Now perhaps he can. Boundless Strike to set up is there, but he's already up on the high ground, so they'll let that one go. But another team fight going the Radiant's way.
And that does open Roshan as well. Expending that song for the escape does mean that they're probably not going to be able to contest this Roshan fight.
That is very true. Weeha will jump in to help the cause, and well, it looks like Ace is going to make his way in, perhaps just to scout out with those illusions, but they are going to make an attempt here. Roshan, though, so low already. They've got to make a play right here, right now. 33 jumps in. The hoof stomp is there, but their Aegis was claimed by HFN. Looks like 33 was trying to get the cheese as well, but doesn't quite get there. Now they're going to lose their Razor Fada. He's already gone. Ace is trying to make the kill onto the Brewmaster and does find it, but they've already lost PPD as well, and Ace is just a sitting duck. HFN blocks with the Sprout. Impel, though, will not connect from Misery. Meanwhile, Saksa, Stampede will help him run away, and it looks like Ace will be able to do the same, surely. Misery not quite giving up yet, though. King RD also has the lasso available, but do they have the DPS? They will if HFN TP's in. Misery will hold on to the Impel. There's the lasso, and now the Impel is set up, and HFN should be able to claim this kill, and he does. 24-12 now, 7k net worth lead for Chaos Esports. Again, the net worth not increasing that much. It's just 7k the way of Chaos, but it is still their game to lose. I feel like we haven't even seen a big team fight when NiP has come out on top yet.
No, definitely not. Just the elements aren't coming together for NiP. It just feels like they are jumping on whatever chances they can get, but so far it just hasn't paid off well.
Saksa, he'll get caught out again. HFN just doing so much work on this Prophet. And this man has farmed so well as well. Almost 25k net worth on this position 1 Prophet. Butterfly will come out onto Ace. Bring up the buyback status now. And it looks like he has actually expended all his gold, but he feels like he needs to be able to actually defend. He will wait out the respawn time, though HFN will not. He'll go after the tier 3 tower immediately. Saksa will just be there to delay things with the Hex and the Earth Spike. Nice Earth Spike actually connecting onto HFN just on the tail end. He does still hold the Aegis, however, so he's not too afraid, but nice Hoof Stomp will connect. The 4-star was there in time onto HFN, though, so he'll be able to get away. Aegis intact. They also got the tier 3 tower, so now shrines are opened up across the map. And again, Chaos Esports just remaining in the driver's seat in game number 2.
Yeah, not taking any sort of risk as well, just going back, taking out at least one shrine, maybe sticking around for a push elsewhere, otherwise really not under too much pressure now. 11k net worth lead does make it a bit harder again for NiP to feel too much room to breathe, although it feels like, you know, there is still a bit of a timer on Chaos. Like, you have some great scaling with that Monkey King, you have great scaling with NP, but you really don't want to see I guess, that Naga Siren come online, she can delay games quite a fair bit just with that song, especially in a high ground push.
Well, they're thinking about going for that mid-racks. Smoke will come out from King RD. They have actually spotted out Ace thanks to Misery on that Nyx Assassin. They realize if they secure this kill, this could mean that mid-rack's going down, and how does he get out of this one? He has the BKB, he will song up, but the BKB's come out immediately from the side of Chaos, though that Sprout actually blocking them away, and now the TP Ace, surely he doesn't get out, but he does! Oh, what a play from him. That Sprout coming out from HFN actually blocked the rest of Chaos Esports. So they couldn't get the right pathing. Now they'll go for a gank attempt onto Tavo, though HFN TP straight in. BKB will come out at 33, but he's copping so much damage right now. They jump in as well with Weeha, though Hex is there. PPD's life has been lost, but he will get the Winter's Curse off. Now Saxa will be the next to fall. It looks like they really want Fada on that Razor, and they should be able to find him with that Cyclone of the Brewmaster. Buyback does come out from PPD. Fada, though, looking really, really unhealthy right now and will go down. Ace did not have a song to commit that time around. Still, can they defend this mid-racks with only 3 heroes? Looks like the answer
is a tough call. Ugh. They do back off, though.
They want to play this safe. I mean, Chaos, just understanding. They don't want to stretch the limit too far, just playing very surgically, and you can't really blame them. Again, one last team fight, and that gold, that net worth graph could really swing their way. They're trying to engage here onto Ace, which is really the priority target, and they do get a Sprout off, but again, that Quelling Blade still coming in handy for Ace. He will be able to just walk his way from the tree line.
Yeah, it does look like Chaos is playing patiently, just even with, you know, the unavailability of buybacks on NiP side, just choosing to play it safe, take it slow, take out these shrines, take more control on the map, and, you know, just be patient. Just they're in control, Mike. They don't need to be rushing in, and it certainly does look like NiP is just having a bit too much of a hard time to really play recovery here. I mean, just take a look at the net worth. Nature's Prophet is about 5k gold ahead of the Naga Siren at this point. Not a healthy sign for a core Naga that has spent the majority of the game really just farming.
King RD is keeping tabs on the side of NiP right now. Looks like Tavo perhaps baiting for the side of his team, but there's nobody else there to help. Tavo can end up losing his life in a rather strange way. Now the lasso comes out from King RD as well onto PPD. But King RD is pretty much going to get taken down. Surely the Stampede is there. Now they're on of Atos and the finger comes out from Saxa. They will just burst him down. They've even found Misery and the Nyx Assassin. Just one by one Chaos Esports walking in and ends up dying. The top lane is being pushed in by HFN, but he hasn't really dealt that much damage to the tier 3 tower. And PPD, he's going to be there in time to make sure that they take out those treants.
Chaos is still in the driver's seat, don't get me wrong, but losing heroes like that is certainly not a good sign. You do not want to bleed back that advantage you have towards NiP. At the very least, their big cores weren't taken out there. Weeha and HFN are still pretty darn healthy, but, you know, you have to be aware. Just bleeding that gold away, you're going to give NiP room to come back in, and these people know how to play on an even field in terms of network. Heck, they're still getting work done despite that 13k deficit, so you really have to watch out here as Chaos. You cannot afford to give away kills like that.
You can start to feel perhaps the heroes of the Radiant starting to... I mean, you talked about that timing. They are starting to fall off slightly. HFN is still a massive menace on that Nature's Prophet, but now you look at Ace as well. He's got that Butterfly and that Hard Up. He's a lot tankier and is a lot harder to deal with this time around. There will be a smoke coming out from Chaos. Roshan is not going to be available. In fact, we're not going to find out when till 30 seconds later, though it is a smoke on smoke. Misery will break the smoke of NiP. Now, ooh, nice stun coming out from 33, though. Here comes the initiation from Tavo, straight onto PPD. They do take down Saxa on that line, and PPD copping a lot of damage. He's gone as well. This is the team fight that Chaos wanted. They found Ace, BKB is there, but the lasso comes out immediately from King RD, and he is surrounded by a lot of monkeys right now. Ace, though, walks out with the song. Stun will be there from Tavo. Is it going to be enough? They are going to continue this chase. Primal Spring, HFN, he'll TP in. Illusions do come out, but Ace is dead. A fantastic team fight coming out from Chaos this time around. Their bot lane was being pushed in by Fada, but it won't really be pushed in that much. The tier 3 only losing about 100 HP. HFN does TP in and protect that immediately. And Fada does go for the static link play, trying to go after HFN. Feeling like he can do this by himself, but he's got no way to cancel that TP. HFN will just get himself out. Now the mid lane going to be pushed in here by Chaos Esports. They have the creep wave as well. That looks like NiP are going to try and trade at the bot lane, allowing these Raxes to go down. Without Ace, it's not really like they can defend anyway. And now Chaos, they want to go for the tier 4 towers. They're really going to try and force this defense, and NiP do TP back. So instead, they'll go for the top tier 3. Just again, being very safe and very surgical about this. PPD can't afford to get caught out. That Winter's Curse is just so important in these team fights. And it looks like 2 Raxes will go down. And that'll be it. They'll be more than happy to back off to safety.
Yeah, again, just really surgical play coming out from Chaos here. Just, you know, forcing TPs back home. Once they see that's been committed, they just go for the tier 3 up top instead, take out that Rax. And NiP is down to 1 set of Rax left. They have very little room to really breed around now. 21k network lead for Chaos, and looks like they should be able to take the Roshan for free as well.
Certainly so. I mean, even if NiP want to get in there and try to contest this, there's an Aghanim Scepter now available on Misery on that Nyx Assassin. So that Burrow going to be very annoying to go up against. Cheese actually left in the Roshan pit. They will go back in and Weeha will pick it up. Or not. King RD, would you like the cheese? Looks like Misery is the only one that's not lactose intolerant on the side of the Radiant. He will go ahead and take it for himself. Now the mid lane push again being started here by Chaos. The NiP setting up for the flank. 33. Who's he going to find? They will end up finding Misery, though. This isn't the best target to go for. They're going to try their best. Tava, he'll jump in there with the split, and they will get down Misery at the very least, though Saxa has been lost in the back. 33 trying to go after HFN. In fact, no, he's going after a different target. Now the lasso comes out. PPD, he's gone. They found the Razor as well. Fada is the next to die. Ace, he finally throws out the song. I'm not sure how much it's going to help, though. He had to wait for the Sprout to go down before he could actually walk himself out, because he doesn't have the Quelling Blade anymore. At the very least, he will survive, and there is a buyback available on the Razor. They'll also get 33 out safely back into the fountain, but this is not going to be a simple defense to make here for NiP.
It's going to be really tough. They don't have the song for a full minute as well. Pretty much looks set for Chaos to just take mega creeps at this point.
They are taking the Raxes, though. 33 jumps in, trying to go straight after HFN, who's the main issue, the main pain in the backside of NiP. They've lost 2 already, though, on the side of the Dire. Ace, he'll be the next to fall. There is a buyback available on Ace, but it might just be GG, and they do call it. 32k net worth lead behind Chaos Esports. I mean, that was a very, very impressive game number 2. Considering how badly game number 1 went for them, John, this is, I mean, they really just had some coffee, woke up, and showed NiP what they're made of. And luckily for us, we'll get to see a game number 3 coming up.
Oh, for sure. It was quite something else to watch. You know, we were doubting the Monkey King lane matchup with that Razor, but Chaos did fix the issues they had with their support rotations. And once they got that tempo going, they just took over. They just took over that laning phase, took over the mid game, and just kept constant control on the map. I think that's what you have to see when you're playing against a team like NiP. Just have that control.